Hello there from Blackpool. Today it's another day of Blackpool Pleasure Beach Resort. I'm Scott and this is Stephen, and we're here for the 10 o'clock close, late night riding and fireworks. Stephen, what are you expecting from today at the Pleasure Beach?
Well, we last did the one last year, was it September time I think it was? It was really good. The park had a new lease of life in the dark. Now, the only issue with today is it's not going to get dark until quite late,
20 past 9.
So we might not get quite the same atmosphere as we did last time, but it's going to be a nice long day and plenty of time to get on the rides. So enjoy the video and see what we do.
Yeah, so quick mention actually that today we have decided to do a video focused on Speedy Pass. Now, of course, a lot of the time that we've been to Pleasure Beach this year, it's not actually been that busy, but these 10 o'clock closes tend to be a lot busier than a 5 o'clock close, and that just fits in with the demographic of Blackpool really. So today we are going to see if it's worth buying a Speedy Pass. We're going to get the basic £27 Speedy Pass. Can't remember if we get a pass discount. Lots of trams going past us, so it might get... There we go. Not a trip to Blackpool without some trams.
Tram cam.
So yeah, we're going to get the Speedy Pass, £27 each, Stephen's idea. Will it be worth it? What do you think?
I think it will on a day like today.
You do?
It's expected to be busy. I think that it's always good for us when we're wanting to show you the park as well, if we have something like a Speedy Pass. Because it is really hard to cram everything in on especially some of the bigger parks we go to, when you haven't, because you're in massive queues and you're trying to get everything done. So I think having it does help you enhance your day. We come here so often, we don't normally bother with using it in Blackpool.
No.
But I think today it'll be a good day to try it out and just see how it is. So, and we'll let you know if it's worth it or not.
Absolutely. And before we go into the park, I don't know if you watched the recent Alton Towers vlog. We asked for 1,000 likes and Stephen would agree to come to a UK Halloween event. Well, we nearly got 500. Should we try it again?
500?
Yeah. So he has agreed.
You know, people got to go back to that video now.
Yeah, please do. He has agreed to do a Halloween event, but it's still not the one that I want him to do. So we're going to try this again. If this vlog can get 1,000 likes, Stephen will come to a Halloween event in the UK, won't you, mate?
Is there a dislike button?
There is. So if you do enjoy this video, please hit the like button. It's a little thumbs up below. Stephen, what Halloween event do you want to do? I think you should do Tully's if it gets 1,000 likes.
You have said Tully's to me. I don't know. I don't think I'd enjoy any of them. I suppose Tully's does have a booster, don't they, usually?
Yeah, they do. So
I do like boosters.
This guy does not like anything Halloween, so please hit that like button. And let's get him to a scare event. Should we head into the park?
Yeah, let's have a
I'm looking forward to this today. There's nothing better than Blackpool Pleasure Beach on a 10 o'clock close, in the dark, lots of atmosphere, lights on. It's always a good day, so looking forward to this a lot. So we're in Blackpool Pleasure Beach now, and behind us there is guest services, and that's where, if you've got a season pass, you're best getting your Speedy Pass from. If you have a season pass, I believe you still can't do it in advance, you have to do it when you get to the park. So we've got here, before opening, we've gone straight into guest services. We've got Speedy Pass, so the way that they do it is they scan your e-ticket and then they put it through the system, and then it links your e-ticket with Speedy Pass, and then automatically Speedy Pass is then available on your app. So we've gone with a standard one. That one is a virtual queuing system, so basically rather than getting in a queue and waiting for an hour, we can basically book a ride and then we will wait the duration of that queue, and then it will give us a QR code to go to the ride, access it through the Speedy Pass entrance and get on the ride that way. There is a VIP option which is £50, and again it's the same way, it's done through the app, but it will just work out what the main queue is, take 90% of that time off, and then after that time's counted down, it will give you a QR code to go on the ride. We will show you where to access Speedy Pass in the app, but as it's still before 10 o'clock, there is no rides open currently, so fair play to Pleasure Beach. They've opened the park early, they've got people in rather than people waiting outside on the seafront, so that's a great idea. People are now walking around the park, going to where they want to be. I think that's really good.
Yeah, there's a fair crowd outside, so I think it is good that we do open the gates and just at least people are in the park and we can have a look around. And actually, I think the next port of call while we're waiting for some rides to open, maybe have a look at Loki's and see.
See if they're still doing breakfast.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what the options are there, so we're going to go stick our nose in.
Yeah, absolutely. So just a quick one on the subject of Speedy Pass. We'll show it in the app after 10 o'clock once all the rides are open. But for now, we'll go and see if they're doing breakfast anywhere. The last time we were here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, we did mention that Loki's bar, located next to Valhalla, was serving breakfast. But at the minute, it's closed. So we won't be going for breakfast in the park today.
Yeah, I was quite eager to see what the offering was and to see for myself. Bit of a shame, but I think it is a good idea.
Yeah, I
don't
agree.
think it's advertised enough.
No.
Because I'd love to come here and get breakfast.
Loki's is the best catering option in the park currently, so when it is open, it's worth checking out. So just as an example where we are, Valhalla's just there, and then we've got Loki's literally here. Obviously, this side is Ice Blast, so it's in this area of the park, and if you do go in there, the food's generally very good, and you can get a beer, get a soft drink, get a brew, so there's plenty of option. And obviously, while we're in this area, I am going to very quickly mention it. Ice Blast is still closed, but I'm not doing a whole segment of the video on it today. It's still closed, nothing's changed, so on to something else.
Well, actually, Scott, we do need to talk about Ice Blast because there has been some changes. Recently, it has come out that potentially there are plans for a third hotel, which will be situated at the Globe. Now, for anyone who, remembers Ice Blast when it was operational, you can hear it from quite a long distance away. And do you really want that sound next to a hotel where people might be sleeping when the engineers are running it in the morning? Probably not. They probably get complaints from the travel lodge, which is further away. Imagine having it right next to where your rides are.
You can literally see behind you the Globe Theatre, which is where the rumours are the hotel's going to go. And you can see how close it is to the park.
Yeah, so with that being said, I think that Ice Blast days are numbered now. Rather than me being hopeful that it was going to be redone, I think its days are numbered. Now, I would like to still see a tower ride, but well, the UK's lacking a tower ride at the moment. Like, we just don't have any decent tower rides, and we seem to have a couple of the S&S ones around, but I don't know. I just think a decent drop tower is required in the UK at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see. But I would love to see something like that here, but as for this thing, I think it's on the chopping block.
Free trains.
I haven't seen that for a long time.
Oh, it's good to see.
It is. I wonder how it'll perform with Enzo with free trains, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. So we'll have to come back a little bit later and see.
Definitely. One attraction that doesn't have Speedy Pass is the Pleasure Beach Express, and that is where we're going to start our day here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It's a good way to take in the views around the park, good ride to relax on any time of the day, and something that I always like to do when I come to the Pleasure Beach. So first ride of the day is the Pleasure Beach Express.
Here, to access your Speedy Pass, you tap on Speedy Pass just on the app, and then you click on your picture there, and you book a ride. Cool. So I'm going to book the Pepsi Max Big One.
Yep.
So I'm going to tap on it there.
Yep.
A 50-minute wait at the moment. So we can ride the big one when that time expires. So we'll show you when we get to that time and you can see what comes up.
There is something that we need to mention, and currently the dodgems located by Avalanche underneath Revolution are currently closed with no cars on the track at all, and to be fair, it doesn't look like it's going to open anytime soon. So what's your theory?
A bit unusual.
Yeah.
It has been open.
I think it has.
Well, I'll be honest, it's not something we...
There goes the ref.
No matter where we go, it's hard to escape the rides in this park.
It is a ride-intensive park.
You will get interrupted. It's a strange one because I believe it's been open. We don't normally go on it, do we?
No, I don't like dodgers, to be fair.
It's not something that I really rate. I do a lot of driving, so getting in another car is...
Yeah.
Well, it's something else to drive. It doesn't really appeal to me, but I don't know. I don't know why they put them on and then took them off.
I don't know. I'm sure it was open. I'm certain it was open at some point this year, but currently it's closed, and yeah, I suppose we'll wait and see if it reopens. Well, that was interesting in the end. So as we were getting close to going on the big one, I got a text message from Pleasure Beach to say that the big one was now going to be closed and the Speedy Pass booking was cancelled. So the timer went off. And that was it, wasn't it? We couldn't use Speedy Pass on it. So we had a wander around, and then we noticed that there was a lot of staff around, a lot of engineers, a lot of security all around the area. So I was unsure what was going on. And then about 5 minutes later, it reopened. So we used the main queue.
Yeah.
So we have now been on the big one without Speedy Pass. So we will hopefully later on get the chance to show you how to get on the big one with Speedy Pass. But for now, we've gone through the same process as booking the big one, but we've actually booked Icon, which is a 30-minute wait now, and I think it's already ticked down quite a bit. It's been about 15 minutes left. So we'll show you how to get onto Icon with Speedy Pass. But how is the big one running?
It was alright, to be fair. Like, the thing is, and this is nothing against, the big one is still the big one, but when you, like myself and yourself, we've done so many different coasters around the world now, that I don't know if it stacks up to like some of these other ones that I've done. Ones that I'd probably say are up there. Conda, Walibi Belgium, is probably one of my favourite, no, that is my favourite.
Yeah.
#1 coaster in the world.
I
love it. I could sit on that thing all day, and I just think that this was of its age. So in 1994, the big one was the best thing going.
But was it?
I genuinely think it was, because like B&M still hadn't really gone into that territory yet. So.
But do you not think that there was a better equivalent that was already 5 years older than it?
Can we just pan over here a little bit?
Got me a Magnum XL 200 t-shirt on.
Yeah, well that's exactly what I mean now.
Yeah.
Like Magnum XL was the best thing going in 1989.
I think for me that was my first go on big one since I've been to Cedar Point this year, and well, I already knew that big one just does not compare to Magnum, and it definitely doesn't. It really does lack. And I do hope that if they do go ahead with any more retracking at any point, that they do look at completely reprofiling it to being more of an airtime machine, because that is where it lacks. Because it's got the speed, it's got the first drop, it's got the views, it's got the turnaround, but it just lacks in the airtime, which it's always lacked in airtime, but it does have airtime.
The days you can go on it and it's flying. Today's not one of those days.
There is airtime
though. Later on it might be better, but front row on a nice hot day with little wind,
it just sauntered.
And a fast train is, you're getting ejector going into them trims.
Well, not
and
today.
on the top of the hills. But
sauntered.
Yeah, today was quite sluggish, wasn't it? But like it might be better later on. Like it can change throughout the day.
I just want to point out that I do think it does have airtime in places. First drop, if you're in the back seat, it's very bright here.
Oh, that first drop is
first
mental.
drop, back seat, and then, or a back carriage to be fair, and then over the crest of the second hill, or the first hill you could say, when you're in the front, and then you've got into the block brakes, when it goes flying up to them, and also sometimes over Star Hill you get a pop of airtime, but it's still one of our best coasters in the UK. But as far as Arrow hyper coasters go, it wasn't the best, it never was, clearly, but I still think that Arrow made some of the best coasters, and I'm still gutted they're not here. Anyway, we should probably go and do Icon now. So earlier on in this video we asked, is Speedy Pass worth it at Blackpool Pleasure Beach today? Well, the Icon queue starts there, so I think we might have made the right choice.
Yeah, if we're not careful, it's going to join us too.
We are literally going to be in the queue by just standing here. So yeah, that is literally the start of Icon's queue on free trains. So yes, it is a busy day here at Blackpool, and it is looking like we made the right decision. Stephen's laughing because I keep getting this bit wrong, so
take 10.
Take 10. To access Icon's Speedy Pass entrance, you have to walk away from its main entrance, walk towards Revolution, past Avalanche, towards Bradley and Bella's Sustainability Garden, and then towards Big Dipper. So currently we're sat by the Learning Garden, as it used to be called, and now we're going to make our way to go and ride Icon using Speedy Pass. So we'll show you how to get there. It's in a weird place, but it is kind of in the best place for it. So yeah, time to go and do Icon. Just taken our ride on Icon, and Stephen's been like really forcing me to start this review because he says he knows what he's going to say. So over to you, my friend.
So I've not ridden the back row on Icon for a long time.
Why not?
Well, to be fair, I never get in it. I have sat in it before and it moved me forwards, and I'm a big guy, and they end up stapling me. I can fit on the other rows, but I'm more comfortable in the back row. So we did a back row ride. I generally think the front row is better.
Yeah, it is.
Like I think the front row is considerably better than the back. The airtime wasn't as good in the back as I remember when we did it. But remember when Icon first opened, and I was quite negative about it, and I said, not always. I said, I don't think it's a top coaster.
Yeah.
And then a year or two later, got a front row ride on it, and I was like, you know what, that's actually alright. I really enjoyed it. And now I've done that back row, I'm back to thinking, oh, is it actually any good, you know? I think we need to try a front row
I'm up
ride
for a front row go
before
later.
the end of the day.
Yeah.
And just try and compare it, because but also what could be affecting it is there's a lot of stacking going on.
Yes.
So is the free train ops affecting like are the wheels getting cold because it's standing around more? So there's something, it's not running as good as I remember it last time we were here, so it'll be interesting to try it later on in the front. So
it's an interesting point about the free trains, because I remember a couple of years ago when they first put Enzo on it, and me and Mark came here on Good Friday and it was on 2 trains and it was absolutely flying through the queue line. We came on the Saturday as well and it was on 3 trains, and we waited what felt like an age to get on it. So weirdly, it's almost like 3 trains actually isn't as effective as it probably could be. One thing I think that's worth noting is when operations are criticised, it's always the staff that get it in the neck. But I actually don't think it's a staffing issue, because the issue with Icon is there is no proper merge point with Speedy Pass and the main queue line. There's seat belts on the ride, which people still aren't aware that they're there, so the staff have to put those in. There's people putting baggage on the other side. The scanner is right next to the air gate, so people don't have time to put their phones away. It is a massive sort of bottleneck, and this has all been created by Enzo, because obviously you've got people waiting extra for a back row that isn't there. So I think the whole station setup doesn't help the staff. I think the seat belts don't help the staff, and I don't think the location of where you put your bags helps the staff either. So I think that it's always easy to pick on staff when ops aren't great, but I don't think the staff are to blame. They've got it on 3 trains, they are working as quick as they can, but they can only go as quick as the guests. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
yeah, I completely agree with you there, Scott. Like the staff are working really hard in there, and you can tell they're working hard in there, but they're limited by the design of the station.
The station design is poor. It really is poor.
Train design, station design, and the guest who has got the phone in their hand still.
Yeah.
Like the amount of people sat on the train when we were waiting to get on.
With the phones out.
Half a dozen people holding the phone, taking pictures while sat on the train.
Yeah.
It's just slowing everything down, but people have the phone in their hand because they've just used it 30 seconds before to get onto the ride. So yeah, I do think they need a better system for the access to the rides.
Agreed.
When it comes to that, ideally, as the park as it stands at the moment, I'd get rid of the scanners at the rides.
They've clearly got no intention of bringing back the walk round pass.
And you know what, if they bring back the walk around pass, I don't mind the faff a little bit, because then it's kind of justified.
But
at the moment we kind of get the faff, and you know, maybe they're using it just for crowd control, to know where the crowds are, but
it's for data.
Then, like,
it is for data.
Yeah, surely if you're using it for data, can we not just do what we do at Towers and have the, you know, dispatches counted on the rides PLC, which I'm sure this one will do.
Yeah.
I know some of the rides here don't have a PLC, so
yeah, it's just I just wanted to point out that just sometimes when people are criticising operations, they're not particularly criticising the staff, they're criticising the system, and that is very much a problem here on several attractions, whereas the infrastructure on the rides causes the problems with the stacking and just generally speaking a slow queue line, which is not always the fault of the ride staff. It's sometimes due to the system in place or the guests that are riding the ride. We've currently got Big Dipper booked as our next ride on Speedy Pass, so we're taking the opportunity to have a wander around the park, and behind me is where the Grand National queue starts, and there's the other side over there, the queue, and then obviously that's the queue there behind me for one of the other sides. It is on a 2-train service today. I can't remember the last time I saw it on 4 trains, but yeah, very, very busy day, and we very much needed Speedy Pass today, so it has been a decision well made, especially with queues like the one for the Grand National. This is a rumour that's actually been doing the rounds at Blackpool Pleasure Beach for probably 5 or 6 years now, that there would be a new third hotel located where the Globe Theatre is, which of course is right next to the car park for Pleasure Beach, right next to the park entrance. Now, I've seen a lot of questions online about why does Blackpool Pleasure Beach need a third hotel. Now, that is a fair question, but you could argue it's because the 2 hotels that they currently have are an excellent revenue stream for the company. You've got the Big Blue Hotel and the Boulevard Hotel, which don't rely on the park because they're always busy year round. They have good occupancy rates, make good money, and they are very popular hotels. Of course, as well, they can be used for functions, big groups, and all sorts of different things. So that is probably one of the reasons why they maybe do need a third hotel, because they're a good revenue stream for the company, probably better than what the actual amusement park is, probably better than what the shows are. So there is that, but you have to question, is it the right time for it? So that's where I'm going to bring Stephen in and ask, is the timing right for a third hotel?
Well, I'm not sure. I do think there are other things that are more pressing with the park, but
Yep.
if they are desperate to get the revenue, maybe a third hotel isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think we did say last time we were here, that Loki's is one of the best food places here, which still stands in my opinion. But if they were to take the Globe and this area, I do think this building would go.
Yeah, I do.
So where we're at now, Loki's, which used to be the old cableway station, I think this would go. And to be fair, if you built a restaurant that was accessible to the park as a part of this development, I'd probably be for that.
Yeah.
Because I think we do need like a proper bar and grill or something at this park. And we've been saying it for years, a bar and grill would be brilliant. So yeah, I think it could potentially be a good thing. Now, the downside for me is that we need to do something about the availability of the rides at the moment, with River Caves and Ice Blast and
Dodgems.
The list goes on, unfortunately. And I know that they've got more pressing issues that need to be dealt with, but I think as an overall,
Yeah.
it definitely kind of needs to be brought back up to scratch. If the rides are non-replaceable or down and can't be fixed, I think they need to be thinking, what can we replace that with? And get out there and just see what kind of equipment can we put in. I know I strayed away from the hotel a bit, but I think it is important because Merlin, I'm not an expert on finances, but I do know that Merlin had a big focus on building hotels at one point, and hotels are all they were putting in. But what they noticed was that the attendance dropped because people come for the theme park as well, and they've kind of gone back a bit now and starting to put rides in, and I think it's about having a good mix.
Yeah, definitely.
I think another ride needs to come along with the hotel.
What about if they replace Grand Prix with a coaster and then put a hotel in after it? Is that acceptable?
Well,
as a fan, I mean, it's not up to us, but would you be happy with that?
I don't know, because I'm not always necessarily about coasters. I do think that we do need more modern equipment at this park.
Yeah.
It's not a museum. I do like the heritage here, but I think you need to have a mix. Like, one thing I did notice when we went to Leesburg is it's a very similar kind of style theme park to what we've got, well, amusement park to what we've got here, but there's nothing really old there.
No.
Like, most of the rides are relatively modern because they've not allowed them to get into the classic stage. Whereas here, every ride's a classic, so they've got issues with, if they, no matter what they do and take away, they're going to upset someone because it's their favourite ride and it's been their favourite ride for 50, 60 years. So it's a double-edged sword. That no matter what they do is going to be the wrong thing. You've got to look at it from their point of view.
So we've just been on Big Dipper. Wasn't without problems though. We did book it on the Speedy Pass. It was a 65-minute wait. When we were about 5 minutes from getting on it, was it about 5 minutes?
About 5 minutes. Cancelled.
Cancelled.
Text message again.
So we had to restart it, and we don't know why.
I kind of note on that I think it is a little bit disappointing that if you obviously we have paid for this service today, and that's 2 times now where we've had a cancellation, and you don't get anything back from that. You just like, it's like, no, start again from the beginning. But when so we had to rebook a 60-minute.
But when you virtually queued 60 minutes twice, and it's happened twice.
I don't know, it's a little bit frustrating, but like, I suppose it's just one of those things, but it's a shame it doesn't pause it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it used to pause it.
It used to pause it, yeah.
I don't know why it doesn't do that anymore, but it's just cancelling, and that, I don't know. I don't think it's great. It's a little bit frustrating, but like it doesn't ruin the day. But like it's not a great thing to do.
It could do though.
Oh yeah, easily.
It could do. It could do if you're in the last hour, and then they just boot you off a queue or a virtual queue, and then it's too late to book something. You would be pretty annoyed. So we are going to have to bear that in mind later.
Yeah.
So Big Dipper is currently on a 1-train service. There is lots of internet rumours going around. I'm not going to speculate on why it's on a 1-train service, but it was closed all of last week. It reopened on Friday, Thursday, I can't remember. It definitely reopened Thursday or Friday. It was recent that it reopened. But yeah, it's on a 1-train service, and of course it's got slow lift hill, a large layout, so it will take a long time on 1 train. So I think whilst it remains as a 1-train coaster, I would probably recommend doing it in the first hour when you're at Pleasure Beach, because otherwise you're going to be waiting a long time for it. But otherwise, it's good fun.
Yeah, it's going quite well today, I think. I got a few. I nearly ended up on your lap at one point.
I know. Some good airtime.
On that second hill.
Don't do that.
I don't want to do that either. But I had no choice in the matter. It was trying to yeet me, which I've not really had on Big Dipper before. Not to that extent, anyway. So it was well and truly on form today.
Yeah.
It is getting a bit bumpy in places though, especially around by the Big Blue. It could definitely do with some kind of...
It's crazy considering it was retracked.
I know, but I don't know what they can do to it, but there is a bit of a...
Side to side, let's say.
There's a bit more lateral G-force than one would like. but yeah, I did enjoy it today.
Yeah, I'm just going to extend on that. I thought Big Dipper was excellent today. Not best woody in the country territory, but it was certainly very good. And we've now got the Grand National booked, and it's 45 minutes countdown. So yeah, look forward to that one next. It's now time for us to do the Grand National, and it's going to be a difficult one to film us walking up there, because it's actually, you have to access Speedy Pass via the exit, but we'll do our best to show where you get on with Speedy Pass onto the Grand National. Looking forward to this. How was the Grand National, Steve?
Oh, it was... how do you politely word something that it wasn't the best it could be? That wasn't the Nash I normally live and enjoy today. Don't know whether it was the train we were on. Maybe we had a 50 pence piece wheel. But you do sometimes get wheels that are a little bit more worn, and they do give a bit more of a bounce. But we were at the front row on the red train, and it was at the Andy Hine MBE train, I believe.
Yes. Don't tell Andy how it was running.
Yeah, it was a bit crazy. If you do have any kind of...
Right, I'm going to stop you there.
Yeah.
He's trying to be nice about it.
Yeah.
It was rough.
It was very rough, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Non-PR Scott, as requested by Sean Evans from Lift Hills and Frills. Yeah, it was rough and it wasn't very enjoyable. And I want to give out, though, a massive shout out to the 2 platform operators who are dealing with very busy Speedy Pass. It took us nearly 40 minutes from where I showed on camera where the queue stopped. The Speedy Pass was around 40 minutes. Yeah. So yeah, and that's not through any fault of the staff. There was a drunk guy on the ride that was getting thrown off. Then there was someone trying to take a football on it.
And there's people kicking off as well. And
yeah, so
I kind of feel sorry for them because it's not their fault. They're doing the best they can.
But then the issue with that is the Speedy queue was getting longer and longer and longer, and the main queue was getting just as long. So I think the infrastructure on the Grand National needs and I think the whole station needs a refit, rip it out, start again, and redesign it so it works with Easy Pass, Speedy Pass, and the 2 main queue lines, or even stop it at the top of the steps and then just batch both sides and have the queue coming out onto the walkways.
Yeah, I think that's the only way you're going to be able to fix that without major changes. Cheapest way is just having the queue outside.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, we do have a space behind us that's not being used anymore. Maybe put a queue there and have it go round in, but it's just, you could even like getting out, you can't leave the ride because the exit's blocked by people on a busy day. It just doesn't work anymore on a busy day. On the quiet days it's not too bad. Though I have to stand in the light or in the dark here. There's a big difference on that.
Have you seen the light?
Well, the Grand National's amazing. It was a bit rough though. Nah, to be fair, I do love the Grand National, and it just didn't quite do it today, but I'm sure that next time we come, hopefully it'll be back on form again. Today was just a little bit.
Introducing PR Stephen.
It's not PR Stephen, it's just the truth. I've been on the Grand National thousands of times and they're not normally as bad as that. Like, it can be, I know it can be as bad as that, but today was on the worst side of the Grand National.
Just admit it wasn't very good. Right, Nickelodeon Streak is booked. It's got a 60-minute wait time on Speedy Pass, so... The original plan while we waited for Nickelodeon Streak to count down on the Speedy Pass was to go and do another ride, but actually what we've done is sit down and watch the big one. So we've not actually done anything other than get a drink, iron brew, watch the big one, and just wait for it to count down. And Stephen's looking at me off camera as if we forgot something. So
yeah, I forgot something. Done a lap on the Pleasure Beach Express.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah. So we are making use of the time that we would normally be queuing. We're spending money on like drinks and things. Yeah. And also we're just having a relaxing day. So we've done the train. Normally you'd have to like do that and then join a queue, but because we're actually virtually queuing in a ride queue now, we can go and enjoy some of these smaller attractions. Really good.
Yeah, I did forget the train. But yeah, now it's time for Nickelodeon Streak, so we're going to head on round there. The Speedy Pass entrance for that one it's near the main entrance, but you have to sort of walk past where the queue line is, and you walk around, and then there's like a Speedy Pass and Easy Pass entrance, which takes you basically straight onto the ride. So if I can show you, I will do, but it is a very crowded area, a bit like the National, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Nickelodeon Streak. Taking our ride on Nickelodeon Streak. So there was about 7 people in front of us in the Speedy Pass and Easy Pass queue. One thing I will say is I mentioned earlier that you go straight into the station. You do kind of do that, but you don't go straight onto the ride. I should have been more clear on that. You go actually past the scanner and into the main queue and pretty much get straight on from there. But yeah,
I put my phone away thinking it was done, but I was like, oh, I've got to get the ticket back up again.
Yeah, I did the same, to be honest.
The staff member was aware and let us. They have like a thing they can do, don't they? So
yeah.
But that's something just be aware of, that you still got to go through the scanner after you've had your Speedy Pass checked.
Yeah. Not much more to say really, other than it was a good ride, and we've now booked Icon again. We're going to go for a front row go this time, I think. Try and
think so.
get the best experience of Icon. Other than Enzo, that's probably better. But front row on the normal trains is better than back row. So yeah, we're going to now wait to do Icon, and I don't know if we're going to do any rides while we wait or just wander about again. But that is the good thing about Speedy Pass on a 10 o'clock close. You can just take your time and do whatever you're doing. You don't have to rush. You got your front row ride on Icon. How was it?
It was actually quite good. I enjoyed that. I think I enjoyed that more than the one we had earlier today.
Yes, definitely.
I think it is a front row coaster, that one. Staff are doing their best in there. They've got a lot of challenging problems in that station.
To put it mildly.
I'll be honest, they're doing their best, and anyone moaning about them, they don't realise what they're actually dealing with. They're having a really bad day today. I think it's everywhere in the parks. People just, sunshine's out, people have switched off.
You mean like people going into the ride area?
People wandering where they shouldn't be. Behaviour of people has been pretty poor today, which is a bit of a shame, because no one deserves to be shouted at, or when you're at work or anything like this. It's just not good, is it, really? So I think people need to enjoy the sunshine, just have fun, be nice to people.
Sunshine.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's like we said earlier, system in place doesn't help the staff. And when you've got people charging into the ride area, throwing sunglasses at people, yeah, not ideal. But yeah, good front row ride. It's not the best ride here, but it's always good to do. So we have booked the big one again, and I think it's a 60-minute wait. Yeah. So we'll probably just chill out, have a wander, get some footage, and we can finally, hopefully, show you where to get on the big one with Speedy Pass. It's now time for us to do the big one using Speedy Pass, so we will show you the Speedy Pass entrance, which is just past the main entrance. So luckily it's not too far to walk. You've got the main entrance, it's just to the side of that, but we will show you. It's just about, what, 30 seconds now until we're going on, so from a watching brief it looks like it's running really well now, so looking forward to this.
Yeah. Forward to the big one. It was a bit, always in the morning it does go a little bit slower. We've been watching it throughout the day. Looks like it's been getting faster and faster, so I'm hoping for a decent ride on this now.
Yeah. You look confused.
Yeah, the signs are a little bit misleading, but I think I know where we're going.
Oh, it's round here. Stephen says he doesn't want to do a review of the big one. So, Stephen, what did you think of the big one?
To be fair, it's alright. I find that the back rows are very tight though. We did the back row ride.
Full experience.
Yeah, it's good. I like the big one, being the big one. That's probably the best way to put it. Does that make sense? I like the big one because it's the big one.
I don't know why he's turned up as a PR officer today, but his response is very different off camera. But yeah, back row for the full experience. It was alright. It was, I think today is probably a better day for the front row. It is a low wind day, so it is flying on the return leg. And you do feel every bump and bruise as it goes through. But I do think it's still running a lot better than it was this morning, and it's something I still enjoy a lot when there's no wind here. And I'm not talking about like me having wind, I'm talking about like a coastal wind here. So yeah, it's very good on days like today.
Yeah, I think you're right with like it's running better now than it was this morning.
Absolutely.
I think it's always been like that.
Yeah.
The big one's always a little bit rougher and a little bit more sluggish in the morning. And if you get on it in the afternoon, it's always a different ride almost. So it was a heck of a lot better than it was this morning.
Yeah.
But like I've just done so many other coasters now that I don't know. I'm not losing the love for it because it's always going to have that nostalgia of being one of my first big coasters. But there's a lot of new interesting stuff out there. I think that I'm just eager to see some of that stuff come to the UK, which Hyperia was a good step in that direction, but we're still waiting for like
30 years now for the next one.
Well, oh, don't say that. But we're as thrill seekers, we deserve some of the better kit that's out there in the UK because there is some amazing.
I knew you were going to have a rant about this today. I knew it.
It's been brewing for a while. I'm looking forward to seeing the next big thing, and I hope that
30 years time.
I hope that, well, to be fair, like, Pleasure Beach should go for the thrill seeker market right now because it's rife.
Yes.
So, you know, cater to the people who want to do the thrill rides because there's a shortage of them coming to the UK.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So, after all that said, we have booked another go on the big one through Speedy Pass.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're going to get on it though because they do close the queues early on a 10 o'clock close when there's fireworks on. The queues will not be open until 10 o'clock in the south end of the park. So things like Big One, Big Dipper, Infusion, Revolution, Steeplechase, Avalanche, Pleasure Beach Express, Skyforce, and many more attractions all close before like about 8:30, 9 o'clock. They close the queue line. Things like the Grand National and Valhalla will stay open a little bit later, but the queues may still close before 10 o'clock. So as much as it is late night riding compared to a 5 o'clock close, you still have to join the queue lines before 10 o'clock to guarantee a late night ride on some of the rides here. So that was something that I've been meaning to mention all day, and it's taken until 7 o'clock to mention it, but there we go.
Yeah, and just something to note there about the Speedy Pass as well. As we've discovered today, they're not shy on just cancelling it.
No, they're not.
That is kind of a thinking, is that going to happen?
Yeah.
Potentially, so.
I mean, it literally happened last year on a late night riding.
I know, I'd be disappointed if it does.
Yeah.
But I understand they've got to clear the area for fireworks.
Well, they don't have to.
So the next question I'm going to throw your way is, why have fireworks?
Or why not just do them at 10:30?
Well, the thing is, people out the rides here, the people want to do like the big one in the dark and Icon in the dark.
Yeah.
Both of which are going to be closed.
Yeah.
Before it's dark.
Exactly. It's
so it is a little bit disappointing and that side of it, but like people are here. People seem to be having mostly a good time. That's if they're not causing
chaos
issues like we've had today. But most of the people who are here for the roller coasters and enthusiasts are loving it. So I just think that there's a way of putting some kind of show on without having to close the big one.
Yeah, do it after the park's closed.
Well, you could do like a potential projection mapping show on Valhalla I mentioned before.
That'd be good.
Like that. Or some kind of light show. You don't necessarily have to have fireworks.
No.
You know, like you could do something else that would be probably good and probably be a lot cheaper to run and a lot better quality. So it depends on if you want to do something like this more often. We should go down that route because you'll be able to run it every night. You know, and you push a button and it starts.
Before we move on to something else, I'm just going to throw in a very unpopular opinion. Don't like fireworks in this park or any park. Sorry.
I don't mind them. I think like Alton Towers do it really well.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's only for a few days of the year, but you've got to admit, I'd say I'd take Towers fireworks over Disney fireworks. All that's going to cause the hate now, isn't it?
Great, well done. Cancelled.
I generally do. I think that they time everything, and it's a lot more. The fireworks are a lot more spectacular than Disney, but I suppose Disney are running it every day, whereas Towers can like just throw a load of money at it, and it's like mental, isn't it? It's just a crazy amount of fireworks, and they do put on a really good show. But if they were doing it every day, which I don't think you'd ever do.
No, I don't think the locals would be too happy.
No, exactly. So they would have to tone it down. But like, again, I'm all for like, you know, getting some drone like show or something that has been growing in theme parks.
I've just had another idea actually. When we were at Kings Island the other week, so they actually stopped running the rides for half an hour, do their drone show, do some fireworks, and then reopen the rides for another half an hour for night rides. So maybe that's an option.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Then you guarantee your night ride.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Because that's the issue you've got on this event, is we're not going to get on the ride we really want to.
Late night riding, but in the sunset.
Yeah.
It is late night because it'll be like 9, 10 o'clock, but it's not in the dark.
Like, what would you think, Scott, if we moved the opening time back a bit?
Yeah.
So let's say...
Well, the park got a lot busier after 12 o'clock.
Yeah, so open at 12.
Open at 12 and close at 12. There you go, sorted. Problem solved. Right, it's time for us to stop being two old bald men moaning on a park bench and go and do something else.
I just like to see...
I'm moaning because I don't like fireworks, but yeah, go and do something while we wait for the big one. So we've just had 3 laps on the big one, and he's a little bit confused. It was a bit quick.
It was a bit mental, that one. I haven't been on it going that quick for a long time. The wind's died down, the wheels are hot, and it is rocketing.
It was good, wasn't it?
It was delivering the airtime I was on about earlier today.
Yeah.
Different ride. Different ride compared to this morning. That was fantastic. I can sit on that all night now at the front. Like.
Should we ask if we can book it? ERT. Have you got enough money? No, same.
But I would love a big one ERT again because they're always good. So, but yeah, that was amazing. That was amazing. Loved it.
Yeah, it was really good. And yeah, I think I do want to give a shout out to the staff because it has been challenging for them today. There's been problems with people messing about in the stations, and it can't be easy for them, but they've all done a great job, and I think that needs mentioning today.
It has been constant all day, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's just been like, I would imagine they'll get home to their families and just be like, right, I can relax. But yeah, it's been a bit of a wild one with guest behaviour in the station, but all in all, they've done well, they've coped with it well. I mean, I still think the system doesn't help them with, obviously, with where the scanner is and everything that's going on, but all in all, I think they've handled it well, so can't fault that. So, one thing I will say though, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, sunset, special place. Special place.
Top of the big one then.
Yeah.
You're looking out, sorry, I fell over out of camera.
Yeah, I know you did. You nearly tripped that family
I'm still
up.
dizzy for being on the roller coaster. Going over the top of the big one and the view.
Yeah.
You can see the Lake District to the right. You can see Southport, even like towards Wales to the left. It's just like straight ahead of you. The sea is.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just an amazing evening, especially on a clear day like now. It was. You can't explain it. You have to do it. You have to come and do it and just experience it.
Well, actually stayed for the fireworks for a change. Right, big finish. Go on then, how's your day been here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach Resort?
I've really enjoyed it. I think that the Speedy Pass for us did work out in the end. We did have a bit of a rocky start though, with
yeah, it was
being cancelled, so not really sure why that started happening, but like, apart from that, I think it's been a really good day.
Yeah, so has it been worth it?
Yeah, I think that we've been able to have a relaxed day while enjoying the rides. So for today, I'd say yes, it was worth it.
Would you have, looking back on with hindsight, would you say that the VIP one would have been better?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think today the VIP one would have been better because it would have prevented the problems that we had early on in the day because of we were literally the 60 minutes. Everybody was about to go, everybody was like, cancel.
Yeah.
It's like, no! And that happened twice. So it was like...
Yeah, that's the thing. If we hadn't had that one and we'd have had the VIP,
it would have been on a much quicker. So yeah, I think the VIP one would have been better for today.
Yeah, absolutely. All in all, it's been good, and I'm gutted that the park is now closed. I really want to stay for another hour and go on some more rides in the dark. So if they would consider it in the future and doing it the way Kings Island do it, where say they do close the rides at 9 o'clock, they do the fireworks, and then they just give people like another hour to do the rides in the dark. I think people would love that. That's all for now. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It's a little thumbs up below. If we can get 1,000 likes,
Not this again.
might get him in a scare event.
Don't do it.
Please do it. Please hit that like button. And if we get to 500 likes, he might do one. But I think 1,000 would guarantee it. So please hit that like button. He needs to do a scare event with me and Mark. But yeah, that's all for now. Many thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next Your Experience Guide video.